Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to work on the Blobby Bird family. Very easy project to do. Come along with me while we do this. Today we're going to be working with the Gravy paint set. It's got all the colors you'll need. This was the very first paint set that I purchased, and I still go back to it all the time. You can find this for about $25 on Amazon. I can post a link below. We're going to start off today by just using water and making a circle. It can be a little ovalish if you want. Depends on, if you have a bookmark or watercolor paper, note card that you're sending out to someone. So we'll just draw it in this area. Wet your number 12 paintbrush and just start creating a circle. Get it nice and wet. You want some moisture standing on top of your watercolor paper. Pick whatever color you want. I've chosen blue, and I'm just going to zigzag the paint onto there. I'm going to leave it variegated. I want it darker in some areas and lighter in areas. Leave room for some white space. That way you can add color in that area. Pick a darker blue right now. Isn't this fun? Just drag it into another color. Rinse your paintbrush. I'm going to grab, I think, the pink. And in that white space, I'm just going to fill it in a little bit with some pink. You can dab it and dot it. And all those colors are going to start running together. You've got all that moisture on the paper, and the colors just start spreading out. I'm just adding a little pink here to the edges, just to give it some more pizzazz. The pink and the light blue will turn into a purplish color, and then that water is just going to wick it into the other colors. Alright, Mommy Bird is going to need some drying time, so we're going to start working on her legs. Going to need to choose an ink pen right now. And we're just going to create her legs. It's wet. This is very wet, the bird part. So pick a nice pen. This is the Micron 08. Be very careful here when you draw the legs. You do not want that ink pen to touch the water. Okay? Draw a little foot, another leg with a little foot, and again, be very careful. Don't get that ink in your paint. I'm going to give him a little knee, or her a little knee on each side. And then my little bird is got hairy legs. So I'm just going to flick some of those pin marks along the leg area. So now that I'm done with the legs, we're going to create the babies. We're going to have some baby blob birds. We're going to do the exact same thing on this, only in miniature. Again, wet your 12 with some water and make a little circle there. Make a little water blob. You can tell where you're at from the sheen on the paper. Again, whatever color you want your bird to be, you can make it that color. I'm just going to get some orange. Look, when you dot that water on, that paper just absorbs it and scatters it out like tie-dye painting. Rinse your brush again. Figure out what color you want. I've picked the yellow. And just kind of throw it in there. Just dot it around on that orange if you want. It's all gonna mix. All right, clean your brush very well and add another little baby. I always make one of the babies just a little taller than the other one. A little different, they're all different. Now, you're going to pick another color. I'm going to go for a little bit of red, a light red. Boom, see how you put that on there? Isn't that beautiful? I love this technique. I got a little pink here, and I'll just dot and dab that in, just like this. And that's how that goes. So everything is still wet. I dripped some water on my paper. Very easy to get it off. You just take that paper towel and dot it very gently. All right, time to add some legs on the babies. Again, don't touch the paint with that ink. It'll be a mess, and you won't be happy. Give them a little knee. Add some tiny little hairs to the legs. Evidently, they don't shave either. Looks like their mommy, huh? All right, let's give this little guy some legs. There we go. Don't touch the paint. Very careful. Little kneecaps. And another little kneecap. I'm just adding a little detail to the legs, just to give them some character. I want to show you what will happen if you get ink in your paint. So we're going to let this dry for a little bit. I'm going to get this separate piece of paper and we're going to do an experiment. I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like to get ink in your watercolor. It's not very pretty. All right, we're going to make a wet circle again, and I've got a little pink on my brush still, but that's okay. This is just an experiment. I'll grab some more pink here and we'll add it. See how that water moves and that color moves? Add a little more, some blue. This is just our experiment. Let's get our pen now. And we're going to pretend we're drawing legs on here or going around it. We'll go around it first. I'm just going around the outside of the bird. I'm pretending that I'm trying to make that detail, that outline around it. Looks pretty good right now until right there. I got the ink in the watercolor paint, and now it's just going to spread out. I guess if you wanted to use this as a technique, you could, if you really wanted to add some black. But if that's not the look you're going for, then you've got to be super careful not to do that. You've got to let everything dry. That's why when I draw those legs on, I leave just a little space in between the leg and the watercolor. When I go back to outline those little birds, then I can make that black line touch the legs and touch the watercolor area that's dry. Alright, so let's add some grass. We've got a little time here to let it dry. We'll just take some flicks of our black marker and throw some grass in. And then we're going to add some color to that grass. And if you look to or look at that blob below, look where that black's going. The water in that watercolor is making that black spread out. It's different now than it was when we first did it. Alright, let's grab a thin brush that's got a nice little tip, nice thin tip. Grab some green. And we're just gonna kind of flick it around those black lines. Just remember, it doesn't have to be on the lines. You can make it taller. So we'll do a little green on each one of these. And again, just use the tip and flick. So much easier for me to flip it and, to the right. It's just, right-handed people tend to flip to the right. All right, we're going to grab another color. You can use a different color green. You can use yellow. You could use browns. Just something different. You could even use 3 colors here if you wanted to. Do you notice when you're painting, you really don't think about anything else but what you're painting? It's good for people who overthink. Stress relief. Got a little bit of brown in there. I'm just going to add some to each one. Doesn't take much. See what I did right there? I had pressed too hard. And I got like a blob of brown on that one. Alright, let's rinse our paintbrush real good. And we're going to give this some drying time, because everything is still super wet. Alright, let me show you what happens if you pick this card up and see how that water is moving. See the motion it's creating? Which is kind of a cool effect if you're trying for that. But with this black in, all it's going to do is kind of muddy it up. But when you're mixing your colors, like a pink and a blue, and you kind of do this, it kind of is pretty. And then it dries that way. One thing you're going to notice is how much water is on this paper. Too much. So I'm going to show you a little technique to get some of this water off of here. You're just going to get your paper towel. You're going to get a corner of it, fold it over, and just lay it on there and watch how that absorbs that color and the water. Sometimes you're going to want to do this if you get too much water on your paper. All right, let's get back to the bird. I've given it time to dry. I can touch it and it's not wet. So now we can go in and we can start detailing everything. So grab your marker. I'm going to start just by drawing the eyes and outlining it. Your eyes can be any shape they want. My eyes today are a little bit fishy looking. Just giving her some eyelashes. Gonna draw in a little pupil. And now a little nose. Your nose can be any kind you want, okay? It doesn't have to be a beak. Even though I'm calling these birds, maybe it's just a monster blob. But it's a very happy monster blob, right? There we go. All right. I'm just going to do a little zigzag around to make the outline. And this does not have to be perfect. This is your technique. You can do a smooth outline, you can do a zigzag, you could add some hairy lines in there if your bird is hairy. All right, we're going to give her some little hair tentacles. Just little swirly, curly cues, I guess you'd call them. You could even do this with a different color pen if you wanted. A blue pen or a pink pen would be kind of pretty. I may have to see if I can find some of those someplace. Now I'm just drawing on some ears. And I'm going to give her some dangly earrings. Kind of cute, huh? How many birds do you know that wear earrings? Mine does. I see them all the time out in my backyard. They all have earrings on. Okay, just little cheeks. Doesn't she look happy? You could also make her a grumpy mommy, okay? Alright, I'm going to do the same for the babies. Just some zigzags. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this little bird's leg, that back leg. It's a little out of joint there, I think. Little eye and a little beak. Alright, so this is the baby. So the baby doesn't quite have all the tentacles that mommy has yet. We're going to come over to the other side. We'll do the same thing. We'll just draw a zigzag line around the baby. Depending on where you want your beak, you can have your little bird look anywhere. I'm going to have this little girl, she's just going to be looking up at her mom. See how her little beak is kind of pointing more up? And a little eye. Notice how her eye is a little different. Her eye is solid, where the other one is a circle. You pick. Just giving her a little sprouts of hair or feathers on top of her head. And we're going to give her a little mouth. She's going to smile. There we go. Another little smile. Everybody's happy. Alright, now we're going to grab our markers and we're going to add more detail. Alright, we're going to grab a pink marker. This is the metallic one. Or a blue. I'm thinking, yeah, let's go with blue. And at the end of those little curly cues, I'm just going to put a dot of blue. You could have put pink, you could put yellow. Not sure the yellow would stand out as much, but you could use yellow. Alright, let's take this pink marker and we're going to make her earrings pink. Just a little dot in each of those circles will do. She's getting kind of fancy on us. I'm just going to put some little dots here on her cheek. Make her cheeks look a little rosy. Yeah, not quite sure about that leg. All right, let's add some more detail. I have got a white ink pen, and I'm just going to make some little dots all over my birds. Now with this pen, you just press lightly and swirl, okay? If you press too hard on this kind of ink pen, the ink won't come out. So just nice little dots wherever you want them. You could even, put some small hearts on the little birds if you wanted to. Give her a little pupil there. Okay. Yeah, all right, let's give her some dots on her chin. Just more details. All right, so now that we've got all of our detail done, I'm going to show you a technique to add splatter to your artwork. You're going to pick out a pen. This is probably about a 4. And you're going to figure out what color you want. We're going to make splatters all over this. So wet your brush and your paint really well, whatever color you decide. You'll figure this out, how much moisture you need with the paint. Practice on a different thing first. So, wet paintbrush, tap it, and see all those tiny little dots? Do it again. You can do as many dots or as few dots as you want. It just adds pizzazz. Tap it, tap it. Be sure to practice on something different, okay? An old piece of paper that you have. That way you get the feel for how much tapping you need. You kind of get the idea when you practice, You can add another color to it if you want. Rinse your brush out really well. Since I've used a lot of pinks and blues, taking that pink, doing the same thing. Get it nice and wet, get your paints wet. Hold your brush up by the end, and then tap. Tap, 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 just like that. See? Don't be worried that you're going to get it on your little people or your birds. That's okay. They can have a dot on them too. Maybe it's raining, pink and purple. All right, we're all done. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, like and subscribe, please. That will help my channel out. This one is just getting started. It's fun for me. I'll see you soon.